Now let's switch over to the Assignments tab, where you can actually take the diagnostic and practice exams and set them to have due dates. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create an assignment using my ACT content. Clicking on the ACT exam will mean that I can create an assignment with that particular test. If I wanted to create a different assignment, I would need to go back to Assignments again and select SAT or AP, whatever content that you assign when you created that class. You'll notice I've already created an assignment. I want to show you first what data you can get out of an assignment. Notice how I've assigned that practice exam, English, math, reading, and science diagnostic. And as I scroll down, that diagnostic exam had a student assigned to it. Here I've got a student account that I set up. I really blasted right through that just by clicking C for all answers, and you'll notice I got the percent correct. It shows me also how much time I spent on this. You'll notice that I didn't spend more than 307 seconds taking that entire test. As such, because of my low percentage, it can't even project a score because I haven't gone through and completed it to a proper correct percentage, nor have I completed the other sections. Now if I click View, now I see a projected score for the English diagnostic and math, but notice how I didn't complete the reading or science yet. So it won't project my score without necessarily going through all of the practice sections. I'm going to go back to my classroom and look at my ACT prep assignments now. And let's talk about the different types of assignments you can create. So now let's create an assignment by clicking on Create Assignment. Again, because I'm looking at the ACT content, I have more options than some of the others. If you try to create an assignment with the AP or AccuPlacer or ASVAB test products, you may not see all of these options on the assignment types. The mastery is going to be limited to mastering math concepts. That's where that Math Shack product really starts to shine. Let's say that I taught geometry and I wanted to make sure that my students mastered a concept on the SAT or ACT in geometry before completing the assignment. I can set a mastery benchmark for that. I can also assign individual drills. So if I were an English teacher and we were covering a particular grammar concept, I can assign just that drill to students and set a certain time frame to do that. So let's explore one of these ideas. I want to select the English test. Let's say that we just went over commas and clauses. When I click Next and give it a title and save it, that drill will now be assigned to students. Now, this is where I can really start differentiating, and that is the idea of sending an assignment to just a certain number of students. When I click Send Assignment, up to this point, this assignment hasn't necessarily appeared for students yet. Remember that I chose the ACT practice items for this assignment. I of course need to set a due date, but now take a look at this. I have checkboxes next to each of my students' names. So if I knew who is taking the ACT and the SAT, I can individualize that practice. So let's say that, in math, both of the tests cover algebra. I can assign practice that looks like the ACT to one student and then use that same concept to assign practice that looks like the SAT to a student who I know is taking the SAT. I simply do that by checking the box next to the name of the student I want this to be sent to, and then I tell it to send to students. I can also create batch assignments, so if I clicked Send to Students and Send to Entire Class, it would send this assignment to all of my students. So that differentiation really starts to shine when we're in the Assignments tab.